Factually inaccurate. Morally correct. This is Babylon Bee Radio. Our top story. After several days of hearings, a Connecticut jury has found Alex Jones guilty of defamation and has sentenced him to death.
We, the jury, find Alex Jones guilty on all counts of defamation and have hereby sentenced him to hang from the neck until he is dead. May God have mercy on his soul.
Eyewitnesses say Jones collapsed as the verdict was read. A lawyer representing the plaintiffs explained their side of the case.
We understand this is a civil suit, but Alex Jones is so uniquely evil, we decided pursuing the death penalty in this case was appropriate. The jury also ruled that Jones must pay a sum of infinity dollars, which is good because our legal fee was $11 trillion.
Jones's lawyers are submitting an appeal, but legal experts predict the appeal will be immediately dismissed on the grounds of Alex Jones being Alex Jones. The execution is scheduled for next Wednesday. History was made last week as Dylan Mulvaney, a pretend woman, sat down in a one-hour Now This News special with Joe Biden, a pretend president.
Mr. President, how are you?
Said pretend woman Mulvaney in a perfect impression of a totally normal woman.
I'm so excited to talk to you about important issues concerning very, very young little girls like me.
That's right, I'm not even being facetious here. Not a joke. For real. Annie Oakley.
Aides then poked the pretend president with their handy cattle prod as he was pretending to be awake.
Hey, Jack.
The pair then talked at length about the issues most important to everyday American voters, such as letting biological men use girls' bathrooms, offering unrestricted and free abortions for pregnant men, and outlawing guns. Afterward, Mulvaney told reporters he was happy to interview the president, but was extremely disappointed Biden never leaned in to sniff his little girl hair. In its latest bid to promote homeschooling, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention voted to recommend the COVID vaccine be given as part of routine yearly immunizations for all school children. The vaccine, which has proved ineffective in preventing transmission of COVID, may soon be spreading uncommon side effects among children as early as this spring. According to sources, many CDC members have been inspired to remove their own kids from the school system and wish to make the decision easier for parents across the country. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky.
Public schools have obviously failed our society. I mean, have you seen the people responsible for public schools? I have met them. They're imbeciles. And believe me, I know a thing or two about imbeciles.
Parents across the nation have thanked the CDC for managing to somehow make public schools even less attractive. Pfizer has announced the launch of a new breakthrough treatment for depression, Thoravil, a pharmaceutical that consists of a heavy metal head mounted at a right angle at the end of a handle. Patients prescribed Thoravil can use the object to smash their cell phones into tiny pieces, instantly curing all depression.
We found that when patients smash their smartphones into tiny bits with a claw hammer, 100% of them saw an immediate and lasting decrease in depression symptoms,
said Pfizer researcher Fritz von Schlegelsteinhausen.
We don't yet understand the connection between smashing your phone and being instantly cured of depression, but you can't argue with these results.
Thoravil has already been authorized by the FDA and has been approved for all ages. It's currently available with a doctor's prescription for only $12,000 per unit from Pfizer or $12 at the local hardware store. At airtime, Pfizer also announced the release of a new prescription smartphone to help cure depression caused by smashing your smartphone. Climate advocates around the world are gluing themselves to various things to protest oil companies and other contributors to climate change. The latest celebrity to join the craze is Leonardo DiCaprio, who's making a powerful statement by gluing his own hand to his face.
When I really thought about it, I realized one of the greatest contributors to global climate change was myself,
said DiCaprio from his 1,500-foot coal-powered flying yacht.
That's why I am taking a stand against myself and demanding that I decrease my utterly obscene carbon footprint. Shame on me.
DiCaprio then applied a generous amount of permanent epoxy to his right hand and slapped himself in the face.
I will not remove this hand until I have met my demands for climate justice.
Americans largely supported the heroic gesture by DiCaprio and are encouraging as many Hollywood stars as possible to glue their hands to their faces as well, preferably over their mouths. DiCaprio has since announced he would also be protesting human trafficking by gluing his other hand to his 16-year-old girlfriend. Pro-dad and savvy world traveler Chip Dunnings is taking his family on vacation, and to avoid missing the flight, has made sure the family shows up packed and ready to go before the airport is even built.
It's important to show up good and early, just to be safe,
said Dunnings as he zipped up his fanny pack and directed his kids to bring all their things out to the car.
Honey, hurry up. Construction on the new IND West terminal slated to start any day now. Why isn't everything packed already?
Mr. Dunnings then sped things up using his preferred method.
Let's go, let's go, let's go! Hurry, hurry, hurry!
Sources say the family arrived at the future site of West Terminal just in time to see several bulldozers start up to prepare the land for construction.
Nothing like getting here good and early, eh, kids? Beautiful weather, fresh air, and no chance of missing this flight.
Mr. Dunnings then turned to his wife and asked her if she remembered to pack 17 months' worth of food. YouVersion, parent company of the most popular Bible app on the App Store, has announced a groundbreaking change to mankind's Bible reading experience. Genealogies in the Old and New Testaments are now skippable through a handy shortcut on all YouVersion Bible apps. CEO Bobby Grunwald says nobody reads them.
Everyone pretends they do, but we gathered more than 200 terabytes of data that demonstrate they're all lying. Now, to be clear, using this button to literally skip over the Word of God does make you a terrible Christian, but we're trying to accommodate for our weaker brothers and sisters.
The newly available button will allow readers to leapfrog over these inspired interruptions, as the update description says, so readers can get back to the main story. Developers have accounted for audio Bible readers as well with loud notifications.
Inbound genealogy alert.
So no reader is accidentally assaulted with a list of begats. Critics say that the genealogies demonstrate God's faithfulness in preserving His covenant people, as well as describing the vital messianic lineage. However, those critics also happen to be super Christians who read physical Bibles rather than reading the Bible on an app like a common heathen. As such, the developers have decided to ignore them and respond to the simple data analytics showing genealogies get skipped 101% of the time with a margin of error of 1%. YouVersion does plan to track those who use the Skip Genealogies button and send those users periodic reminders that they are abominable sinners. Now you're up to date on the only news that matters. Find more fake news you can trust at BabylonBee.com. Until next time, this is Austin Robertson, the voice of the Babylon Bee. So long.